Hey guys, what's up? This is Sabre from VidThru.com. Just want to let you guys know that I have a ton of videos for you guys up on VidThru.com right now. I have the Colin Johansson interview, of course, where he howls at the moon at the end. I have, of course, the 40-minute demo that I had, which I went through the the Norin area and did the Wolf's Quest series. And I also have a panel discussion for the media only, presentation from Randy Price and from John Peters. So I have all those videos up for you. I think that's about there was 2-3 there, so about 7 videos just dedicated for Guild Wars 2. I also have other videos up there for you all, which includes Dungeons and Dragons, Magic the Gathering. There's a new controller for Xbox 360. So I have all those other videos up there for you as well. Also with this video, I also want to tell you guys what my impressions were of PAX East. Well, basically, then I got there because I got lost in Boston for like an hour. But after I finally got there, PAX East was really actually overwhelming. It was just so many people there. There were so many displays. It was just incredible. And it took me probably at least 3/4 of the day, I would say, to actually get used to my surroundings and figure out where everything was. Because, well, the maps that were given to us in these big booklets and like that, well, they were actually upside down and backwards. So that really didn't help very much to try to get around the PAX event. But I did manage to figure out a couple of key places like the NVIDIA booth, the Portal 2 booth, and like that. So I was able to get my surroundings that way, and my bearings rather, and figure out where that was. The only other thing I could note from the floor, 2 more things about the floor. One is when they say Indie Games Alley, they really mean Indie Games Alley because all these indie games were like in this like back area. Underneath like the stairwell, it seemed. So Indie Alley definitely was the correct name for this area. Also, the other thing is the Alienware booth was set up like an arena. They had these bleachers on either side and had this big platform in the middle where whoever was commentating the sporting event, I guess you could say, was set up there. And Alienware included the Guild Wars 2 and League of Legends. So yeah, all the people that said, well, oh, I don't want to hear about League of Legends. Well, guess what? They were at the same booth at Alienware, guys. So hey, you can't get much more of a correlation than that. So there you go. But Friday night was really interesting. There was a meet and greet event Friday night where you could meet the developers and play the game individually by yourself. It was probably a VIP and press event that happened an hour before the actual public meet and greet session began. Well, myself and my colleague, he and I we're supposed to be on the list when we're supposed to get in there. Ravius, who I was staying with from Kill 10 Rats, he actually got in, no problem, his name was on the list. But myself and my colleague Charles, who's also from VidThru.com, for some reason our names were not on the list. So we finally were able to track down Randy Price, who is the Vice President of Global Operations for ArenaNet, and one of the PR people, I believe it was Jess, and she and him finally said, oh yeah, you were supposed to be on the list, yeah, no problem, and we were able to get into the event. And at that event, that's where the demo that I played, that's the Guardian Norin demo that I played for you all. In that demo, I actually got through the first section of the Wolf personal story series, because I actually, at the end of the demo, you actually see me doing a personal instance event. Where I actually talked to one of the NPCs representing the wolf, and I actually got to talk to Aristodolkin, which is the hero if you've read the Edge of Destiny's book. And she is one of the Edge of Destiny's guild members that you have to try to reunite in the Guild Wars 2 game. So that was really cool, being able to see that first section of the Wolf series. And one thing I will note, the biggest thing I will note from the demo is that is really hard to play melee almost, because I did play a demo the next morning which actually played Ranger, which I fortunately didn't get a demo video for that. Sorry guys. I had to save battery power for all the other interviews I had to do that day. But sorry. But one thing I will note is that melee is really hard, a little harder, because you have to kind of face and move and be facing whatever your target's going to be when you attack. So it can be a little hard, but I noticed that my skill 2, which was a roll around and attack, or a move ahead attack kind of deal, which was all same for Guardian, was same for Ranger, helps you put you in that position. So it does make it a little easier to fight that way, but you just have to kind of move your camera in the right direction. So my whole thing of holding down the right mouse button is going to come to fruition here in Guild Wars 2. Also, I will note that the Ranger, which I did play the next morning, which actually, before I get to that, funny story there. Saturday morning, I go back to Pax East at the Convention Center early, and I actually was able to play the demo with nobody around. Well, the media was not supposed to be allowed in until 9 o'clock in the morning. I actually hit the floor at 8:43. I went kind of to where the media area was, where we kind of hang out. There was a separate room for us media guys, and I actually went toward that direction. I went down the escalator, went over to an elevator that was around with nobody around, went down the elevator to the show floor, and actually got out onto the floor at the event before anybody else showed up. So I was actually playing another quiet private demo for the Guild Wars 2 game. But one thing I will note for the Ranger, though, is it is definitely melee viable. You can totally run an entire game on Ranger as melee. They gave you a sword and torch combo to start out with for the Ranger, and I could switch over to a bow if I wanted to. But Ranger melee is totally viable, guys. I mean, you can definitely go through an entire game as melee if you prefer those kind of skills versus a warrior or a guardian skills. So you're not really subtracting yourself at all if you go from a different profession than you would for an actual melee-based profession, I guess you could say, for the warrior. So again, totally viable. You can definitely play through a whole entire game as a melee ranger. But I will note that when I used the bow and I had the automatic attack on for my skill 1, because skill 1 is basically your regular attack. If you have that turned on and you have a bow, you basically can strafe back and forth and just auto shoot your bow just constantly, just shoot, 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 shoot. And I noticed that you really didn't have to face your target either. It will just like go wherever. So I think definitely ranged is a little easier to use, I guess, if you want to start out the game that way. But I do notice also that the damage was very meek. I mean, it really wasn't dealing, I was only dealing maybe a third of the damage that I was with melee. So I guess you could say it's balanced in that sort of sense. But yeah, that was kind of cool. I mean, being able to flip back and forth between long range and short range with just a toggle ability. And it does change those 5 skills on your bar, because the first 5 skills, again, are for your weapons. Let's see what else. Later that Saturday, that's when I had a lot of my interviews. That's where I had the Dungeons & Dragons and Magic the Gathering interviews, like I mentioned before. I think my Xbox 360 interview was also that same day. That was for the Avenger controller, which is a really cool controller because it allows you to remove this thumb right here. Because when you're doing shooter games, I don't know if you guys played shooter games on the Xbox or PS3 rather, or PS2 even, where you had to kind of move the analog sticks, like one's move and the other one's look around with the 007 games. Well, this allows you to just keep your thumb on the look around and not have to go over to the buttons on the sides. It will allow you to use like these fingers down here or this finger, and allows you to use those fingers to use your B, X, Y, or triangle, circle, square, I think it is. I think X is for PS3 is the bottom one, if I remember correctly. But anyways, but it is for the Xbox currently, and for more information, you can go over to that video again on this website, on my website that I'm affiliate with, rather, VidThru.com. Let's see what, and then Saturday afternoon was, of course, the public panel discussion, which they had like 7 or 8 developers for the game. What was really cool at the meet and greet and at the panel discussion, both evenings, both nights, is that when they were showing the assassin video, and when they were showing, they actually showed the manifesto video again at the public panel, is that there was so much cheering and hooting and hollering every single time they showed each video, and there was so much laughing like that. It was just incredible to have that much fan interaction for just watching a simple video of a video game. I mean, it was just unbelievable of how much passion that us, the fans, have for this game that's coming out. So it's something to look forward to, and it's very popular, I think, on everybody's lists. I really don't think it's gotten too many negative views other than when it's ready. Which, by the way, if you look at the Colin, if you watch the Colin interview, he breaks down why they are saying when it's ready. He actually gets more in depth here on VidThru.com than anybody has on any of the information that's out there. He actually explains about NCSoft and and what the fans want. All right, guys. I think that'll do it for this little video. Again, check out all those videos on VidThru.com, and I hope you enjoyed my little impressions, I guess you could say, of what I saw at the PAX event. And I will see you guys hopefully soon, and I'll talk to you later. Right, guys? Later.